Hey guys, so I just recorded a bunch of stuff, but I'm gonna redo it because I think that my thoughts were just kind of all over the place, and they're always gonna be all over the place because that's just how I am. Ignore my messy hair. I just got my hair cut, and surprisingly, I really like my haircut, but I also don't like my haircut, you know? But then I've just been watching so many videos about how big the fucking Milky Way is and the universe, and how the Milky Way can fit basically inside of the United States. And also if the Milky Way were the size of the United States, then the sun would be the size of, I think, half of a red blood cell. And the guy held up his finger and he was like, that's how big the Milky Way is. Anyway, all to say, everything that I've been going through and just thinking about, I'll just zoom out, you know, and I can't even comprehend how tiny I am. And then but the other thing that's beautiful, the new perspective, because a lot of times people will get depressed at the thought of how tiny they are, and they'll be like, oh, I'm just insignificant, but that's not true. I'm still very significant even though I'm tiny, and we all are. But thinking about our skin cells and how tiny those are, you know? And it's to our skin cells and neurons and electrons, we are a universe. And I just think that is so beautiful. And then that just kind of explains we look up right now, us humans, animals, and we're the universe is huge. But then our electrons say they might be we are so huge. And then to them the universe is even, the wind is winding. And then to them the universe is even bigger than that. And if electrons, if I were to personify them, if they have a conscience, then it's we are the second tier, and then the universe is the next one. So if the universe is our first tier, are you catching my drift? Then we must have a second tier. I guess our first tier is the Milky Way. Anyways, okay, my point being, I don't even know where I was. See, it's already 3 minutes in, and I don't even know if any of this made sense. I don't even know if I'm gonna post this. But anyways, and I'm just thinking about okay, I've been challenging myself to think about what if I was an alien, and what if I came to Earth? What would I observe, and what would I think? If I was an alien, what would I observe? Okay, well, for starters, I would see there's these things that are green, and it's behind me, and it's beautiful, and it smells good, and it grows out of a foundation that I'm walking and standing on. I also see flying things with wings and feathers that make noises, and, they communicate. I would also see a species that looks like me, and I would see them getting harassed by another species. I would see women crying, thinking that their bodies didn't look good. Or I would see black people getting yelled at by police for doing something that white people do, I would just observe the systems. I would observe everything that I know today. I think that when you pretend, and not even pretend, but when you just actually straight up look at the world like another planet, it not only helps you understand what your values are, but it also helps you just kind of get out of like the systems that have been programmed into all of us. And in that sense, you make your own decisions and opinions on life. But like, yeah, I've always thought about that. Like, if I was a foreigner to planet Earth, a different species, an alien, like, I mean, as if I don't already feel that way, but like, you know what I mean? And I'm saying that, and I am the race that gets treated the best, supposedly. So, you know, but, well, I am a woman, so maybe not, but you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just crazy. And like, someone was talking about the moon earlier, and how looking at it through a horoscope, like, it has so many dips and, you know, holes and stuff. And I think that I hear the train. Whenever I hear the train, it's so magical. I always take it as confirmation. Like, did something just land? Something just landed. Okay, something's happening. It's my tag. So, yeah. I definitely am not prepared for the wild. I am a city girl, but I'm like also a nature girl, but I just get the EBGBs real quick. There have been many moments today that has happened. I don't know if I will ever be a nonchalant, lets insects land on her arm type of gal, unless it's like a butterfly for like a second, or like a ladybug. I can do it with ants, but I can't do it with like literally anything else. Anyways, that being said, I love all animals and insects, but still, okay. I just think, you know, I really just see life for life. And I think that, like, it's like so easy to just live life and like be so programmed and just go about your day, doing every single thing, doing the same thing every single day. But I really have to pull myself out of that to be happy and fulfilled and peaceful. And I think that's where the mindset is like, so, you know, the mindset is like makes it or breaks it type quotes. They are so true, because like, it's true. I used to really go around life just feeling so insanely negative, and that's another car that has stopped, and I don't know why, and it's really weird. But yeah, you can keep going. Hey, you know, and I think the other thing about, you know, spirituality, and I mean, like, just existing is spiritual, you know? I guess I'm kind of like, I've definitely like shifted frequencies, you could say. Because earlier, a few months ago, I was saying the word spiritual whatever every day. And now I'm just kind of like, you know, being human is spiritual. Experiencing stuff is spiritual. Talking to a friend, helping a friend is spiritual. And this spiritual ego is so real. Thinking you have to wear bandanas and baggy boho pants and smoke and light incense, and that you're not spiritual until you do those things. it is so fucking real. Like, that persona is so real. And that absolutely is not what makes or breaks you from being spiritual. And I think that just me saying I think is so spiritual. Ooh, I just heard like a pop noise. Me being aware enough of my feelings and thoughts is spiritual. Me sitting on the grass is spiritual. Me looking at the trees, observing them in the breeze is spiritual, you know? Everything is. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it all is. This whole experience, the word experience, my awareness, even if I didn't have eyes, the fact that my heart is pumping blood, hopefully, is spiritual. So, and this is kind of off topic, and I don't even know if I will upload this, but like, ooh, it's 111. But like, wow, I'm getting distracted by like the noises in the trees. Yeah, I guess, okay, well, I was gonna say, like, I think that on another note, this year I have really focused on the like power in our thoughts and the power in feeling good, and also trying to untangle feelings of guilt for for getting the chance to have the things that I have and reaching a level of gratefulness that achieved peace and bliss and like pure joy. And I think that maintaining that has kind of proven to me to be a bit of a struggle. And I think that understanding also within that I like being perceived as being a happy and strong and passionate force, but also asking myself, why do I like that? And then also understanding, well, society favors positivity over negativity. However, that in of itself is negative. And the society we live in is negative. Like, you know, I mean, I guess it depends. I guess I'm literally questioning myself saying that right now, because I'm like, well, do I think that? And like, is that the truth? And I guess it's also understanding, like, there is really no one truth, because life really is a balance. Like, society is both positive and negative, but also from negativity, you can brand that and alchemize that into positivity, which is something else that I've really comprehended this year. So this year really has been a lot about just learning and like understanding patterns within myself and my own mind, which it's been years of that, but like, and also like me saying like, I just think. Like, I probably say that so many times, but just saying that on camera was so trippy. Like, I just think, you know, because like our mind is like its own entity, which that is kind of like a scary word, but it's just, I guess, it's like its own living, breathing thing. I also, speaking of that, I think that it's dumb that like people don't think that animals have emotions and feelings. I think that science is heavily favored in the planet Earth. I want to make a video of like my journey to planet Earth and like what I learned, and just like say things that are like normal here, but because it's like coming from the aspect of like it's a planet I visited and it's like new, I think that once again, it's a great way. I think that'd be a great way to like look at it from an outside perspective, because that's what I mean. Like, when you're so in it, when you are so in the default of life, you really kind of can forget like the meaning of it and like the purpose of it. I definitely earlier this year, I don't know the right word because it wasn't like disassociating, and it was like a positive thing, but it definitely was the feeling of like, you know, just being so kind of out of touch of reality, that like the reality that like everybody is in. But at the same time, I could say like I was so deep in reality. I was so deep like in the present moment. I would look around like a crazy person saying like, that's a sign, that's a sign, that's a sign. And I also think I have heard a hot take from someone say like, oh, new age spirituality is like so narcissistic, always thinking that something is a sign for you, which I don't want to admit to. But I think that does have a little bit of truth. And this is coming from someone who absolutely loves looking for the deeper meaning in every single little thing. And I still do like a few months from January, which is really when all this started to kick in, I still do see value in synchronicities and believe in them. But I also do think like my belief in them has kind of like calmed down a little bit. I think I've become a little bit neutral to it all. And I guess accepting that, like, it's been hard because I miss always being like super duper positive. Like, people called me energy girl earlier this year because of how like ecstatic I was all the time and jumping around and just, but I also think like as a human, like that's what happens when you're living in your truth and you're aligned and you're eating healthy, you're around fun, good, loving people. And, you know, also, my hair looks crazy. Oh, I don't like how that looks. Ooh, it looks like a leg. Ew. Okay, I can't believe I just said that. Ew, ew, ew. I think that, like, not maybe biting my hand. Oh, God. I'm all over the place right now. I'm just saying, like, even though it wasn't perfect, and I definitely, like, was not happy 24/7, even though people thought I was, I definitely was doing, like, unconventional things. Like, I was posting a lot on my story, on my Snapchat story, and people called me energy girl for it. Like, people would write anonymous bully-like texts, like, on this college app, Yik Yak, about me, and like they're funny, they were really funny, and like they were funny because I was like, wow, people really care about me, and I honestly felt honored that like people thought that I was so energetic and happy. But like, you know, I also think it's interesting how that was so hated on, because I'm like, let me just live my life. Like, if she's gonna be happy, let her be happy. I think that people would feel more comfortable with me being sad and depressed and quiet and small than big, loud, dancing, happy, screaming, frolicking. People tend to like the version of you sometimes that are negative people, that's smaller and not living in your full truth. And I think that's also because like they're projecting onto you because they haven't accepted those aspects within themselves, and they still have the voices of others who have criticized them and told them to be small. And so when they see someone else doing it, they feel threatened by it. So we are all mirrors for each other in this lifetime, for all types of things, for every single thing you can imagine, every emotion and feeling and thought and belief. We're all mirrors for each other. And that honestly is the universe experiencing itself, because there are infinite things and examples of that. And similar to my, you know, example or explanation of how like the universe goes up, 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 and electrons within us see us. I mean, I shouldn't even say the universe is up. It's all around. Like, see that's like something that's been programmed into us. We think that it's up there. It's right here. We are in the universe right now. You know, and I think looking at it like for what it is, it's crazy. Because like you wouldn't say that like your body is upwards from an electron. You would say your body is like surrounding it. The universe is surrounding us. It's within us. Even within an electron, like we're in it somehow. So anyway, yeah, just the idea that like I mean, it's all connected, you know? Yeah, so I wonder why I say I jest a lot. And I think another part of like growing up for me mentally a lot is questioning a lot of things too. Questioning why I do things and why I have this belief, especially if you have people pleaser traits. Asking yourself questions or taking pauses when you have those instant thoughts. Usually those are things that have been programmed. Oh, earlier, one more thing before I end this, I was thinking of like, I don't know what I said that made me think of this, but I was thinking about how we are all children. I mean, I know y'all have probably heard this, like we all have like a child within us, and how like that child has been programmed. And I asked my mom earlier, I was like, what was I like when I was younger? And she was just like, oh, you were so sweet. You were always doing art. You were always, you know, making me and dad cards. And I was just like, aw. And then she was like, and then middle school happened. And I was like, you know, I mean, I that's another video, honestly. That would be another video. I've written an essay about that. There's a car going by and part of me feels embarrassed for recording, but then, you know, something about me that I really, really have had to work on, that I'm still working through, is embarrassment and feelings of embarrassment. And it can be so hard to just do things you love while feeling embarrassed. But like, I really have, you know, it makes me happy. Part of it feels happy that I have friends who are so in their element. Like my best friend currently, she is such a source of light. All of my friends are, but especially the one I'm thinking of right now. She is just so like blatantly herself, and it really like allows me to be in my element and help like myself come alive. Or I should say like the most outgoing, fearless, confident, funny version of myself really comes out around her. I'm always smiling and I'm always like laughing and just being real. Like, it's not always positive. I'm just myself, you could say. Myself as in the version of me that feels good, that has no fear, that isn't embarrassed. That's the version of me that I want to step more into. And in the sense that we are all mirrors for each other, the fact that I attracted her as a friend means that we are both reflecting like similar qualities in each other. So if I am complimenting her, I'm actually complimenting myself in a way, and vice versa. So it really is true. The people you hang around, you basically are them. But I also think that the universe will test us with certain people, and it will bring certain people in our lives who are not aligned with us, who are, you know, meant to teach us a lesson on how to either stand up for ourselves or to just continue to stand confidently in our authenticity and to know decisively, you know, what we are about. There's birds flying. So yeah, this video is all over the place, and I'm really trying to get in the habit of like just posting, like, because I love talking, and I really just love talking. Like, I'm a yapper, if you couldn't tell. And being home, I've really not had the chance to truly speak my mind like this.